Albert St. George once said, "Research is to see what everyone else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought." Good day. Greetings of peace and love. My name is Justin M. Martinez from Grade 12 St. Thomas. In this video, I would be presenting the research findings from the study entitled Effects of Academic Stress on the Academic Performance. This study used grade 9 and 10 students from St. Paul College of Bukawi as their respondents to obtain the answers to the questions they had and test their hypothesis. This slide contains the parts of the research that would be presented in this video. It contains the rationale, main and specific problems, hypothesis, and conclusion, and a summary for each of them. Finally start, the first part of this oral presentation would be the rationale. The rationale refers to the reason for conducting the study. In this statement, the purpose of the study could be identified. The rationale for this study would be, the study aimed to determine the effects of academic stress on the academic performance of the grade 9 and 10 students of SPCB. That would determine the direction that the whole study would take. In this statement, both the independent and dependent variables would also be found. The independent variable, which can be referred to as the influencer, is academic stress, mainly divided into eustress and distress. The dependent variable, which can be referred to as the influence, is the academic performance of the grade 9 and 10 students. Before heading into the answers, here are the statements that would be the focus of this study. The second part of this oral presentation would be the main and specific problems. These are the issues that would be addressed in the research. The main problem of this study would be, what is the effect of academic stress on the academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students of SPCB? In addition to this, the researchers specifically sought answers to the following questions. What is the profile of the respondents, in this case the students, in terms of academic stress and academic performance? Which academic stress is experienced the most and the least? How are grade 9 and grade 10 students compared in terms of academic stress? Is there a significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students under eustress and distress? Is there a significant difference on the academic performance in terms of academic stress? The third part consists of the hypothesis, both null and alternative. These are the statements that would be tested in the study. There are 3 sets with a total of 6 hypotheses. The set of hypotheses are the following. The null hypothesis states that there is no significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under eustress. The alternative states that there is a significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under eustress. The next set would be the null that states there is no significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under distress, and the alternative that states there is a significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under distress. The last set would be the null stating there is no significant difference on the academic performance in terms of academic stress, and the alternative stating there is a significant difference on the academic performance in terms of academic stress. Finally, this is where the specific problems would be answered. Along with the specific problems come the findings and the conclusions. First specific problem is looking for the profile of the respondents in terms of academic stress and academic performance. In total, there are 2 findings and conclusions. The first is academic stress. The data for that variable would be based on table number 1. Based on the table, these are the findings. The study included 162 students with 80 or 49% belonging in grade 9 and 82 or 51% belonging in grade 10. For the grade 9 students, out of 80 students, 47 or 59% experienced eustress, while 33 or 41% experienced distress. As for the grade 10 students, out of 82 students, 62 or 76% experienced eustress, while 20 or 24% experienced distress. To summarize, out of the 162 students, 109 or 67% are experiencing eustress, while 53 or 33% are experiencing distress. As for the conclusion, the researchers could infer that the majority of the respondents experience eustress. The second part of the first specific problem uses the data from tables 2 and 5. Again, Based on the table, these are the findings. Based on Table 2, under the category of eustress, the academic performance of grade 9 students are as follows. Outstanding with 6 or 13%, very satisfactory with 17 or 36%, satisfactory with 16 or 34%, fairly satisfactory with 8 or 17%, and did not meet expectations with 0 or 0%. Under the category of distress, the academic performance of grade 9 students are as follows. Outstanding with 3 or 9%, very satisfactory with 12 or 36%, satisfactory with 15 or 45%, fairly satisfactory with 3 or 9%, and did not meet expectations with 0 or 0%. On the other hand, based on Table 5, under the category of eustress, the academic performance of grade 10 students are as follows. Outstanding with 9 or 14%, very satisfactory with 29 or 47%, satisfactory with 21 or 34%, fairly satisfactory with 3 or 5%, and did not meet expectations with 0 or 0%. Under the category of distress, the academic performance of grade 10 students are as follows. Outstanding with 1 or 5%, very satisfactory with 11 or 55%, satisfactory with 8 or 40%, fairly satisfactory with 0 or 0%, and did not meet expectations with 0 or 0%. On the findings from the earlier tables, the conclusion to draw here would be the majority of the grade 9 students experiencing eustress got very satisfactory, while those experiencing distress got satisfactory. On the other hand, most grade 10 students experiencing eustress and distress both got very satisfactory. The specific problem seeks to determine which academic stress is experienced the most and the least. The data for that answer would be based on table number 8. Based on the data from the earlier table, the findings for this problem would be the mean of the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students in terms of academic stress are as follows. Eustress with 85.3 and distress with 84.975. In line with that, the conclusion would be the most experienced academic stress is eustress, while the least experienced academic stress is distress. The third specific problem seeks to compare grade 9 and grade 10 students in terms of academic stress. To obtain the data for that, once again, Table 8 would be used. Once again, based on the data from the earlier table, the findings for this problem would be, as far as grade 9 students are considered, eustress has an average weighted mean of 84.62, while distress has an average weighted mean of 84.55. On the other hand, as far as grade 10 students are considered, eustress has an average weighted mean of 85.98, while distress has an average weighted mean of 85.40. Though not mentioned in the table, the weighted mean of grade 9 is 84.585, and grade 10's is 85.69. As such, the conclusion for this problem would be, in terms of academic stress, grade 10 students have a higher combined average weighted mean than the selected grade 9 respondents. The specific problem attempts to identify if there is a significant difference on academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students under eustress and distress. Based on the question, there would be 4 findings, statistical tools, and 2 conclusions. The tables used for this are tables number 3, 4, 6, and 7. These tables contain the values that would be used in the t-test. These are the values that would be used to determine whether to accept or reject a hypothesis. To be specific, the most essential are the t-value and critical value. The t-value determines the position in a normal curve, while the critical value determines the rejection region. As shown in the curve, the t-value does not fall in the rejection region. This means that the null hypothesis would be accepted. Second part, grade 10 under eustress got their data from this table. Again, these are the values that would be used to determine whether to accept or reject a hypothesis. Among these, a researcher must take note of the t-value and critical value. Again, the t-value does not fall in the rejection region. As such, the null hypothesis would be accepted. Based from the statistical test done, the null hypothesis should be accepted. The first conclusion for this specific problem states that there is no significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under eustress. Table number 4 serves as the basis for the data for the third part, grade 9 under distress. This part, the critical value is positive negative 2.04 and the t-value is negative 0.74. This would be used to test the second hypothesis. Normal curve shows the t-value inside the accepted region. This means, once again, that the null hypothesis is to be accepted. Last table, number 7, is the basis of the data for the last t-test of this specific problem. Same as the earlier statistical test, the researcher should also list the values needed to obtain the t-value and critical value. Based on the values found earlier, the t-value is once again inside the accepted region as it did not go over the critical value. All of the statistical tests done state to accept the null hypothesis. As such, the second conclusion for this specific problem is the null hypothesis, which states that there is no significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under distress. Specific problem seeks to identify if there is a significant difference in the academic performance in terms of academic stress. The statistical test that would be done to test the hypothesis is a t-test paired to sample for means. The table that would be used for this number would be table number 8. This is where the values to be used are presented. Both the eustress and distress average weighted mean were obtained from the table. Meanwhile, the t-critical two-tail and t-value were obtained using Excel. These pictures show how the data, specifically the t-critical two-tail and t-value, were obtained. By inputting the data from table 8, the needed values for the statistical test were obtained. Just like the earlier statistical tests have shown, the last test also showed a t-value that does not fall in the rejection region. This means that the null hypothesis is to be accepted. Final specific problem's conclusion is also to accept the null hypothesis. To answer the question, there is no significant difference on the academic performance in terms of academic stress. The main problem of this study is, what is the effect of academic stress on the academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students of SPCB? Based on all of the answers in the specific problems, it is without a doubt that I state that academic stress has no effect on the academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students of SPCB. That would be the final conclusion of this study. The conclusion for the study, the effects of academic stress on the academic performance, is that academic stress has no effect on the academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students of SPCB. That conclusion is where all of the answers from the specific problems lead to. With the help of statistical tools and the data given, the hypotheses were tested appropriately to achieve the desired result. As a recap, these are the hypotheses that was accepted throughout the study. For the specific problems, there is no significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under eustress. There is no significant difference on the academic performance of grade 9 and grade 10 students under distress. There is no significant difference on the academic performance in terms of academic stress. Finally, based on all of the earlier hypotheses, for the main problem, academic stress has no effect on the academic performance of grade 9 and 10 students of SPCB. Mark Twain once said, "Supposing is good, but finding out is better." That would be all for this presentation. This has been Justin Martinez of Grade 12 St. Thomas. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.